Kyle, can you just look on the camera and see if I'll look okay?
Have we started yet?
Sure okay. I just started it.
Oh, can we pause for just a second? Actually, all right, it's okay. Keep on.
It's okay.
I'm going to do a small camera here.
Yeah. Am I in the camera?
Yeah, you're in the camera.
Okay. That's fine. Everybody else had already checked the cameras. Welcome everybody to the next edition of CrossCodes. This is season 1, episode 5. Queen Crimson is the title of this episode. I want to make sure that we remember to thank the Adventure Game Store and the Adventure Game Society Board Game Cafe. This is the yellow room at the club here. A lot of games looks like getting ready to get started out there. So if you want to come by and spend some time playing some games, it'd be a fantastic thing.
Not a bad way to waste a Sunday.
Yeah, the best way to waste a Sunday. All right, so somebody want to recap from last week?
I can try.
Go for it.
Where last we left off.
Oh, and the game is live, by the way, out there.
I know, we just set it up.
Oh,
cool.
Moving up in the world. Where last we left off.
So cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you.
If you can hear us.
Tusk and Eddie had unfortunately been taken from this world all too soon. We were determined to follow a lead, and I'm obviously going to miss some things. I'm not as good at recap as Jake is.
Tusk and Eddie died under mysterious circumstances, which we completely attribute to, with only circumstantial evidence, the Dubois, or that or people with their sharing their interests.
We don't think a murder-suicide was very probable, right?
No, they even said, right, he even reported he couldn't control himself when he was doing it on the video, right? So, and of course they would do that because Tusk and Eddie were the people that had the claim for the spaceship that was salvaged. And the idea would be, kill those guys.
They're conveniently out of the way now.
Dubois can make the claim for this high-tech, ancient spaceship.
Except for
the fact that we had it willed to us. We had newly christened the Shadow Raptor willed to us.
Yeah, they will. That was their decision.
Yes. When Eddie seemingly had a premonition of maybe something bad to come.
Where there's a will, there's greedy relatives.
There you go, yeah.
Right.
So
Eddie,
it's ours legally.
Right. Eddie actually made sure that his father did it and talked to him about doing it. He didn't know why something wasn't right with him.
Right. So what did we do then? We when we saw that these people had killed Tusk and Eddie, our friends, in order to get the claim for the spaceship, we decided to try and track back to where we thought they were operating out of. And when we had followed Eddie's trail after he got kidnapped before, we had determined that there was a ship he had been taken on, and that ship had made a stop at this very remote farm, I guess?
Yeah.
Ranch. Yeah, ranch and research facility.
Where they're doing genetic engineering on sheep.
Right, because he had a dream. He said all he remembered from the kidnapping, and they had messed with his brain, was he remembers sheep, and he remembers being and he suddenly became terrified of dogs. We arrive, and there are these dogs chasing sheep around. It gets even weirder than that.
Before that, we have a little interaction with some of the locals at the nearby town, which doubles as a fishing, hunting resort place.
Many of which were mercenaries working for the Dubois, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some tension there, but we figured out how to get to where we were at the ranch. And as we approached, right, we saw security going by. We waited for them to pass. We approached the fence, and one of these sheep walks up to us and scratches
what we believe to be the word help
into the dirt.
Yeah.
Compounding the mystery upon the mystery of this mystery.
So there we are standing at the fence, a sentient, conscious sheep capable of language is trying to communicate with us. And some distance in is a highly secure research facility where we think the people who are responsible for these deaths might be doing nefarious things.
We stopped right where that thing was.
Correct.
Yes. Do you see what I see? Are you seeing this?
Yeah, and you see the dog chase the sheep back into the group.
I'm going to try to note that sheep. I'm going to try to see if I can remember what sheep that was.
Oh, was it a special color? What?
It was
this
a white
particular
one.
sheep?
It was
It was
the
just a
white.
white one. Okay.
Yeah, they're all kinds of different colors. But it was white.
Oh, that's right.
In fact, he's shown on Instagram.
But they're not all white. There's like they've
All
been
kinds of different
genetically
colors.
modified.
Kel, track that sheep.
Yeah, it can be done. I think. I don't.
Because he's got that his thing.
This thing could kind of, you could probably put a spotter on it and
Yeah, I don't
like
see
keep
why
it,
not.
In
keep
AR.
it watched.
So yeah, I'd like to do that. I'm thinking like
Just on the odd chance that this isn't that by coincidence there isn't more than one intelligent sheep in this herd.
right, or if there's only one, and it might be hard to tell which it is from afar.
Well, right,
right?
that's
They all
my-
look the same.
Well, that's
right?
my point. What are you trying to say?
You know, well, I'm an alien. I don't know. You all look the same to me. So, yeah, I mean, that's super interesting and also really troubling.
So the dog chases the sheep back into the group, and you're standing at the outside the fence.
And we don't have
And there's a lot of dust in the air from when the hovercraft has gone by with the security guy on it.
and we don't have a sense of what that time the time is for them to be
No,
able to
because you don't really know how far and wide it is. You
But-
only have one point in it. The fence disappears in both ways.
But we did sit there and observe the place for at least a few minutes, so we know we've probably got at least
Wow.
10 minutes or something, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we determined it would take
I assumed
some
you're
time.
actually watching a little longer than 5 or 10
Yeah, I
minutes.
figured like
Yeah.
half hour.
You were actually on a scouting mission.
Yeah.
So
It's a reconnaissance.
Do we want
A
to switch?
reconnaissance in force.
How far
Yeah.
away is that guard shack? The one that we saw the group check in.
it's pretty far. I mean, you can see it. It's not, but it's in the distance.
Can we? How
Might be
high
a
is
half
the
mile
fence?
now.
Could we get over this fence easily
Yeah, it's
to keep sheep
Oh, wooden
metal
fence.
sheep. Well, it's a metal fence for keeping sheep in, not for keeping people
people
out.
out?
There is further potentially another fence line, but it's pretty distant.
What kind of dogs are these?
Sheepdogs,
Colleagues.
yeah, collies or something.
So we could just hop the fence and make a run for the higher fence inside.
Do we switch targets with this new information?
Well, I'd like to.
And the
First of
dogs
all,
are chasing the sheep into
how many sheep
certain
are there?
pens. Oh, 1,000 probably.
Thousands of sheep. I mean, I'd like to take one of these sheep with us, but I guess we could do that on the way back. I'd like to take special note of the talking sheep, for example.
For
You know, some
example-
horses have been trained to scratch words and count.
Yeah, like Mr.
Yeah.
Astor, the thing,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Ah,
No, he wasn't. They put peanut butter on his
Yeah.
nose and they filmed it over and over. That's not the same thing as talking.
Yeah.
No, that horse was licking peanut butter off his nose. So now, if this sheep was just licking peanut butter off its, or trying to wipe peanut butter off
They have
its
peanut
hoof,
butter on its hoof. Yeah.
I get it. Maybe it could have been a coincidence. But on the chance that it isn't,
Yeah.
let's note that sheep like Tusk Jr.'s life depended on it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've got a sample kit and a bunch of stuff.
Good. No,
like
that's
this.
fine. I just want to, obviously we can't
Some
walk
ink
around
on
with a
it or
sheep
something.
under our arm right now as we make our
Like
way.
Wile E. Coyote.
That
or
would be a
something.
whole other, right?
Yeah.
That'll be a whole different mission right
Yeah,
there.
we'll just put some ink on it or something just to mark it. Right?
Lipstick.
Yeah, we'll put lipstick on a sheep. Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, so-
Right.
yeah, not that kind of.
Not that kind of sheep, right?
Relationship.
Just friends.
Yes.
So,
And you see the dust is starting to settle now.
Oh, well,
we
maybe
should probably get
move
going
back.
because we want either we
In
should
or
go. I'm for going in, but
yeah,
I recognize that
we're here to go in.
in by the sheep pen. I would say first
Make
we
me
want
a
to take out the
perception
guard
roll.
shack.
Yeah, because if we can see the guard shack can probably see us.
Right. So I would say that might be a place to.
17.
Yeah, 11.
13.
I should have been prepared, Paul. No.
You can tell that in the distance off to your right, there's some kind of a road going through this pasture to the guard shack, which is off to your right. But it's very distant. I mean, the guard shack is not where they would have to be looking for you to see you very easily.
Yeah, if we stay low, I bet that we could just go straight over and use the dust as cover to hop the fence, and then just stay low and go to the inner fence, which we can barely see from here, so they won't be able to see us standing at it, at least not from out here. That's Kelleran's suggestion.
An apt tactical suggestion, to be sure. I'm for this plan.
So, Are we talking about going into the building right now? Into the
Actually,
main building?
I'm sorry. It's on your left, not on your right. The guard shack's on your left, way down the.
Are we talking about going into the main building or the guard shack?
I was talking main building, heading in as opposed to that way, because the guard shack's far enough away that we might be able to just bypass them without.
How big is the guard shack?
But
it looks like a little 10 by 10.
When we say guard shack, do we?
And there's a vehicle at it. It looks like maybe you can see a small vehicle at
It's a security shack.
Yeah, and there's a fence that runs out of it, and there's a checkpoint with gates.
Oh, okay, all right. So it's that's the main. It's not just some.
Correct.
I got you. Some ancillary.
I'd be worried about approaching it and then being seen.
No,
and
I don't
then
want. We don't
alerts
want to go
off
any near it.
first.
I just thought if it was just some shack in the corner that that would be a whole different fox hunt. But so can we see through binoculars a likely means of entrance into the building?
Make me a perception roll.
Probably not. No, I doubt it. No.
Okay. The place is big enough that it's possible to just go. If you take your time, you could probably just walk all the way around to another side. Like this is an entrance for other vehicles.
Do you have binoculars?
No, I don't.
Here, I'll give you my binoculars. Do you
Okay.
see? Do you see a place that we should go in?
How about where we saw the group that checked in at the guard shack go into another building? Did that look like?
Well, there's a cluster of buildings back in there. But
Okay. I don't know. I'll see if there's anywhere that looks relatively shielded from
Okay.
observation otherwise. That will be a 12.
it's hard to tell without either being closer or getting another point of view, another perspective.
Well, we can move around.
All right, so let's do that. Let's pursue your.
Indeed, if the patrol is anything to show, I do not think they're expecting intruders.
So we're going over the fence and then approaching, and then we can, if we need to circle around, we can once we're closer.
That is the plan.
So you're going into the pasture area.
Yeah, because
Yes.
we want to get, if we're going to do the fence, go over the fence, we want to do it when the dust is still in the air.
There's no.
Just now.
There's no security measures by the fence,
Well,
right?
that we don't know.
It doesn't seem like there's anything out here.
Out
Okay.
here.
There's another fence inside that looks like that is
Okay,
probably more
sweet.
secure.
But here, there's not. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't want to trip anything
Yeah.
walking into the pasture.
Yeah, so I mean, take a
We
quick
will
glance
burn
at the
that bridge
fence.
when we
There's
cross it.
no-
Right,
there
we'll
doesn't
do
seem
that
to be
in
any
about right at the next fence. We'll,
motion
yeah.
detectors or
Now that you can tell,
is that electrified or anything like that.
All right.
it's always good to electrocute your sheep. Just
Yeah, right. Well, that'll keep them away from the fence.
it would.
All right, so I'll hop
All
over
of the
and
dumb ones.
stay low. Yeah, right.
Make our way.
Yeah, let's try.
Okay. So as you're working your way, you get to a point where you can see beyond the thing a little better, and you see there's a spacecraft on a pad in the distance on the opposite side.
Can I make a perception check on that?
Yeah.
I made it.
I got an 18.
Um,
Is there a scorpion stinger on the anywhere? On
there's not,
Okay.
but it is an interesting looking craft that looks dangerous.
Is it a problem? So I'll in character now. Kelleran whispers, "Is it a problem that my first thought at seeing that ship is that we could steal it and build a fleet?"
That's a good thought. That's not
Maybe
a problem
I
at
should
all.
Focus. All right.
That is not a problem in the least.
You could be called Admiral.
That sounds like the makings of piracy.
Well,
It does.
we'd be good pirates.
Do we recognize any of the markings on the ship or anything?
It doesn't have a lot of markings you can see from this distance.
No.
But you can tell it's a spacecraft on a pad.
That was the name of the guy's ship, Scorpion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
the guys they stole Eddie.
Yeah. All right. So
Very well.
what is the objective now? I think we should go in there. This is the best chance we're gonna get.
And the spacecraft is pretty far from
In
the
the-
compound. It's not like
in
right
the
out.
side.
Secure the
Yeah.
ship. Secure the guard shack. Secure the facility. There's 6 guys. We know where they are.
We know of 6 guys.
Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah. How many buildings are we talking about?
outside, other than the guard shack,
Yeah.
either 10 or 11.
It's gonna be a lot of people probably.
So we came.
And some are big.
We came
couple
here
of
to
big.
figure out to sort of learn what they were doing here.
Yeah.
Well, I
What-
think
what-
we've learned
Well,
that.
we've learned something of the nature of their research. Maybe you're talking about the sheep, the talking sheep. Okay, so
The communicating sheep, yeah.
But I mean, what's the purpose of having a sheep that doesn't want to be a sheep? You know what I mean? Like, how's that monetized?
well, we don't necessarily know that. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
maybe it wants to be a sheep. Maybe it just doesn't want to be a sheep here.
Here, yeah.
Some way to store consciousness.
But or we don't know what it is. I mean, we don't know
Yeah,
any of that.
yeah.
So I think that the easiest modality, unless we want to steal that ship, and I don't think that I think that we'd have a harder time explaining that in a court than stealing a sheep.
Well, that particular ship often goes around with no transponder, no log.
We don't know
to
that
or
that's
from.
the ship, though. I mean, we're making it.
If
We're,
it is, yeah,
we're
it's a guess.
assuming that's the ship.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem investigating that, but that's a whole other thing. Those are two separate things. What were you going to say?
We were going to say, let us leave the ship as is. If we need to, we can take it as an exit strategy.
As an escape, right? It can be an escape craft.
We'll
right.
call that Escape Plan X.
Yeah, and I mean, myself, I'd like to get in there and steal one of their data cores.
Well,
Learn what they're doing. Learn what they know.
Well, we think there's more to be gained from infiltrating this facility at the moment. We have just barely hopped the fence.
I agree.
So
Maybe
let
we
us
should
continue
head
on
further
this.
in.
We have noted the ship. Let us move on.
and so we will.
Okay. So around the spacecraft, there's a road that kind of wraps around the landing pad, and it goes three different directions. One of the directions is to the bigger compound. And from the compound...
That's the
there's a place
compound that we are heading
that you're
towards.
near,
Okay.
yes. That you're heading towards. You're not near, but you're heading towards. And the spacecraft is further away from you than the compound. But as you move closer and closer, you were able to finally see that there's a spacecraft out there. And there's a couple of buildings around that too, probably maintenance or something. And you get to a point where your concerns over security start to kick in, because you start to get to a point where you can see things a little more clearly, which means they can probably see things a little more clearly if you're not doing something to conceal yourself or figure out what you're going to do. Because now you can see the inner fence that has razor wire around the top, and the fences runs long, and it looks like it runs the length of, just like the pasture. It's like an inner pasture area, but there's no sheep inside that part, inside the compound area.
Right. They're doing
Sheep
all
are on the
their...
outside.
Right.
Are we seeing any
They don't let the
patrols
sheep in the house.
or guards?
Huh?
Are we seeing any guards or patrols or cameras?
You haven't seen any of that yet.
Okay. Well, if things get bad, I can create a.
You see some
illusion
sheep running
to
around
cover- to
over in
cover us.
another pasture, and
But it's stationary.
eventually the sheep start getting funneled into an area inside the compound, but smaller numbers of them. So they start separating them.
Do we infiltrate the large building, or do we follow the sheep?
Are people doing it, or I mean, the dogs are clearly, but
The
are
dogs
there people...
are chasing them in, but your suspicion is on the other side of the throng of sheep
There might be.
that there's probably some people that are directing the dogs.
My sense is to head to the big buildings, but I mean, because I'm guessing what's gonna happen is we're gonna keep going in until things get hairy,
Right.
and then we're gonna run and grab a sheep and hop on a spaceship and get out of here, maybe. But I think we should try to go as far in as we can before we turn and run.
If there's still sheep out there to grab.
Yeah.
It does take some time to herd that many sheep.
When we're moving through, what are the chances of of Kelvin getting within reach of a sheep? Like, are they wandering around all around us, or
No, they're further from you than that right now.
'Cause, I mean, I
but
could
they move a lot.
take a blood
so-
sample or something, you know?
A side objective.
Yeah, if
No, that might
we
be
can't
the...
grab
We can't grab a sheep. That might be the objective.
Let's
And
get their
then we have to
DNA
walk-
or something,
Right, so we don't walk out of here empty-handed.
or at least look at their head, see if they've got a port in the back, like some people do, the DNI port, right?
Or human eyes.
And the sheep suddenly break.
Soul.
and they start getting funneled. You see the dogs chasing them to a spot, and then a little further down, you can see the fence opening, and you see a man standing over there. And at the fence, there's this place where it funnels the sheep down to a smaller and smaller corridor until only one at a time can go through. And you can see it looks like he's counting them through, and then he hits a certain number and he stops, and then the fence goes back out, opens up, and they start running again, and they chase out. And you see him start to take the small number, it looks like maybe 10, go into a shearing area, and inside there, and in the distance, you can see there's some activity, but it looks like you might be shearing from the distance. I mean, the good thing is you always have sun. The bad thing is you always have sun.
Yeah.
I mean, we need
You
a
can't
real
wait for night.
plan, like what we're gonna do here. Are we trying to? I don't think we're gonna sneak in.
I mean, it feels like the activity is all over on one side.
Yeah.
And then there are some buildings directly ahead of us.
Yeah, but they're
Pretty
over
far.
the fence. They're over the fence, and
Over the razor wire fence.
So the only way, so we did see that there was, when the gate opened at the sheep end, does that gate also got the razor wire and everything?
but it closes when the guy
Pose
is
as
counting.
sheep. Because that's the only way we see to get access is trying to go through or over this fence. We could try and go through it, cut through the fence.
If so, we have to decide if our objective is to go in. That's a whole other thing. I don't know if we're going to be able to get in without
Tripping alarms or something.
or bloodshed.
I think that, I mean, I'm thinking of this as an intelligence gathering mission, and we have some, but
Well, we have some intel,
It would
but
be nice to have
the next thing that the next thing would either to be grab a sheep,
We need evidence.
Right.
Yeah. To back
or grab something. So if we're gonna, but I don't think so. We'll have to either go inside to get something, like a data core or whatever
something.
you suggest. But that's going to be more perilous, I think, than trying to grab a sheep.
Yeah, I think we could probably wrangle a single sheep and then get out of here.
You start to hear the sound of one of those vehicles again in the distance.
Hit the dust.
Coming down.
Yeah.
It's got real low.
I mean, it's hilly around here, so you can
Okay.
kind of maneuver around hills to
Okay.
get where they can't see you.
Yeah, let's definitely do that.
So under the cover of that, do we want to get back out?
Yeah, let's try to make our way back. First of all, is your drone still?
It's buzzing around over my shoulder, right? I mean, I can tell it to keep down, or I can have it go up and eyeball things.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's try to make our way back in the direction of wherever those sheep were that
Okay, so
the
we're
one
gonna
tried to communicate with us.
So you
stay
work your
low,
way.
try to be
Do you
stealthy.
need us to make stealth checks or something?
Not with those rolls.
Uh-oh.
I don't. You don't have to make. All the people seem to be occupied on the other side
Oh,
of,
good.
of the pasture area.
That's good.
Yeah, it could
And you
have gone
get
either
to
way.
a point where the dogs see you and they kind of ignore you, and they chase, and you're within an area where getting to a sheep is possible.
Perhaps one of us should go and infiltrate to grab a blood sample, or do we wish to snatch an entire sheep?
Well, I mean, it's possible that if the sheep stray far, like towards us, away from the fences, I mean, it depends. Are they docile enough that we can walk up to one and just examine it, take some blood?
Did that sheep look like a normal sheep?
Yeah. Tired. They look. I wouldn't say they look unhealthy. It's just not a natural environment for them, so they're stressed, and you can see they're stressed. Their eyes bag. I mean, they're from a place with a day and a night. There's no night here. Like, there's all kinds of stresses on them that they're trying to overcome in the genetic work that they're doing, and with varying levels of success.
Well, I mean, let's try and let's keep getting a little bit closer and see if we are able to.
You hear the craft go by.
Okay, stay low. How far? So I mean, Kelrin's going to try and approach one of the sheep.
Well, now you're between them and the inner fence, so you're between the two fences. So he's on the back of you as he goes by.
Okay, good.
The guy,
The security guard.
and you move between some hills.
Wait for a few minutes and then get sheep adjacent.
Okay, so you sneak. Make me a stealth roll.
Natural 20.
17.
9.
14. What am I doing?
Stealth.
Stealth
You'd add,
defeat.
would add dex. If you
17.
Okay. You're a little clumsy with it, and
It has been
the
some
sheep.
time.
The sheep, as they're moving around, they don't seem to be afraid of you. The dogs try and corral them up, but the dogs don't mess with you. They kind of run between you and corral them up. But there's 2 or 3 sheep that are between you and the dogs. The dogs will come back every now and then and try and scurry them back together, but it's not like they're not allowed to wander some, because this is all part of the pasture. The dog just tries to keep them all close enough.
Right. Well, I mean, I'll approach the sheep and see if I see a DNI port on the back of its head, or if it tries to talk to me.
Maybe a perception roll.
That one's not as good. All right, 8.
They all have a collar, and there is some kind of an electronic device on the back of the collar. A small device, but a device.
I guess this wouldn't count as xenobiology, would it?
No. I mean, it would, but
No, it'd be 12. That's all.
Yeah.
Or 10.
but it's not really biology.
Yeah.
It's
So I see
What
an
is the
electronic device on a collar.
Yeah.
So I want to get close enough to put my hands on one of these collars so I can examine it carefully.
what's your charisma?
15.
Make a charisma check.
The animal handling skill
Yeah,
finally comes
right.
into play.
Yeah, everyone always knows that's a big one in sci-fi. 10.
And it gets close, and you go to reach out, and it backs away from you, and you kind of moves a little further. Meh.
I'll pull out some.
No. You must be more gentle. Here, I will show you.
Show.
Oh, here we go. Oh,
3.
He kicks at you, and runs the other way.
All right, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Reaches in the bag, pulls out some.
A gun.
No,
You get your blood that
food.
way.
Yeah, I'll get you a blood sample. Pulls out some food, some ration or something,
Okay.
and is trying to. Wait a minute. Then I stop and I go, wait a minute. What the hell does a sheep eat? Grass?
yeah, this stuff here.
It's fine. We think it'll work. Probably.
Yeah. Well, if it says help, maybe it wants some beef jerky.
Charisma check.
Sure.
Food.
We're trying to
With
tempt
food.
the sheep.
There we go. All right, so that's
Like a good
15.
Scotsman. Sorry, send your
It comes
letters
close
too.
enough, and it starts eating the thing.
There you
Boy,
go.
that's a
good,
pull.
good boy or girl or however you identify. What is this collar? I'll take a look at that.
It wraps around, and the back of it, it looks like something goes into the sheep.
Ah, okay.
Ooh.
Does it?
What
So
happened?
something. The collar is physically attached to the sheep's back of the neck
The nape of the
area.
neck.
Which could be a DNI sort of interface.
So like an implant.
Yeah, something, yeah. And does it seem to be? I mean, can I tell any sense of function or purpose? Like, is it putting drugs in, or is it just an access port like a DNI would be?
There's a DNI port in it, so you know at least it does that.
All right. Well, I'll, so it's not something I could remove without harming the animal. Just like
Unless you knew how.
Yeah, I don't.
You'd have to use medical or
All right.
medical skill to do it.
So it's like, well, these sheep have DNI ports. So I do have a sample kit that includes a data analyzer and its injector and jars. So I'm going to try to. I'm not a medicine person, but I'm still going to try to take a blood sample if possible, but not freaking the sheep out too
Okay,
much.
so you take a blood sample. It winces, and you hold the collar, and it can't really pull away. I'm assuming you're trying to do it as gently as you can.
Yeah. I'm trying not to freak out the sheep. Sorry, I go, all right, well, we got a blood sample, and we just determined these things have a DNI port. So those are some.
Well, what's the DNI port do? It's Jake. It's Atlas.
All right. Well,
Boots.
Is there a way for him to determine that?
Who?
boots.
Or a way for you?
Aladir.
Aladir.
I mean,
Aladir.
sorry. Same thing in your game. Aladir.
So, well, I mean, I can take
Yeah,
a look
boots.
at
Talk
it.
about a real CrossCodes here.
I've got some computer skill. I mean, yeah, let's see what the DNI port does. Is it for access of consciousness like it is for a human, or
Make me a
computer?
computer check.
I can do that. right, see, that's 19.
It looks like it is for a multiple things. One of which is tracking location in case they get lost. It also is for downloading information or uploading information to the sheep.
Uploading information to the sheep. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It was just funny the way it sounded.
You know, it used to be the cloud. Now it's the upload to the sheep.
And it tracks vital signs, all
Mm.
kinds of vital signs.
Well, I'll report this. I don't know what they're uploading and downloading besides.
Consciousness?
Yeah, right? The
Yeah.
ability to say help. That's a little disturbing. That's why I want to go in further. I like the risks.
And you see a sheep come running up to you.
I should note,
Oh.
by the way.
And it's the sheep that you saw earlier, you think.
Oh, really?
Really?
I would just like to point out that one of my flaws is I often put myself in grave danger for the chance to learn something I consider
Nice.
important.
That's called the all-player character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
It's like, who doesn't do
That's
that?
a given.
And there's nothing more exciting to me than solving a good mystery.
And
so,
the sheep that comes up kind of nudges away the other one.
like, I want to.
Oh.
Give me in on this. Oh,
And-
it's you.
He starts like heading away from the other group, the rest of the sheep.
The flock.
Yeah,
I
I
we
think
should
we'll follow him. Yeah.
Like he's walking. He's walking away.
Yeah, from the flock.
Gotcha. So we'll go with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this
And
is
he
maybe a
starts
bad
to head
idea.
towards. It looks like the fence, not the inner fence, the outer fence.
Okay.
Do you want us to take him away?
I don't know. Let's
Well,
ask when
if
we
we're
get
going to
there.
take any sheep, this is the one to take.
Yeah.
At the very least, we'll have a great sideshow act.
And
He sheep.
What did you
gets
say?
it gets
Sideshow act.
a little away
What's
from
a
the
sideshow?
flock, and you see one of the dogs start coming over towards it.
You know,
and
it's a talking sheep.
you see a dog cart start charging up to it. And
Trying
start
to get the.
start to try and get him back, and it goes around you, the dog,
Yeah.
and nips at it, and it's like starts. But instead of running straight back, it kind of runs in a circle, trying to
Hey.
not run straight back.
Yeah.
will-
See-
How heavy is the sheep?
We're gonna intercede
up,
to.
Oh, shoo.
Yeah,
Shoo.
we'll shoo the dog off.
And pick up the sheep, maybe.
Good boy. Go.
We've
Go.
got
Go.
this.
We got this.
I'll throw the rest of the ration over
The
there. You're
dog,
done.
stops and looks at you for a moment, and then kind of runs another way.
Does the
goes
dog
to
have one of
another-
these collars on too?
No.
What'd you say?
Did the dog have one of the collars too? That would
Mhm.
be the
Oh.
unfortunate, scary part. Thankfully,
that would-
to our best knowledge, he does not.
Can you block its like GPS transponder?
Yeah, that's more Boots' style, but
Boots
I
can
can.
try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I can block that. That's nothing.
Good.
Goes in and
Well, let's
Wraps tinfoil around it.
no longer giving
ready to go.
location. Actually, I'm going to leave it to just give this location
Oh, okay. Good.
forever.
That's good.
And
All right, sheep. I'll hold that
sheep
arm.
is right in front of you.
We will
Can
pick
you
up the
carry
sheep.
it? How strong are you?
13.
Probably carry it. It's probably not easy to carry
I'm
it.
17.
You can get it over the fence.
I'm
You
17.
can carry it.
Here
One
you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
thanks.
just bulky and like moving.
Yeah, and probably
Firemen
full of
climb the
wool
sheep and carry the sheep.
Yeah.
How's a sheep like that? He's throwing it over its shoulder.
So you don't even have to make a roll. You're strong enough to.
Oh, I
It's
can.
more keeping it over you.
We feel like we have seen this somewhere, but we cannot
Okay,
place
now
it.
we need to go. But this
Yeah.
is going to tip them off, unfortunately. But
That they're missing a sheep. Well, it might take them a while though, because the GPS will suggest it's in the field. They'll go wandering and searching. As long as we can get out of here without them seeing us.
Right, they won't know it's us. We'll head back to the car.
Okay.
We can also make a hole in the fence to make it seem like that
The
something
sheep
got-
wandered off, but it has a transponder. They would eventually find it.
I say we just get over the fence
Unless
as
it,
quickly as
unless
possible.
it
without them
knocked
seeing
the
us.
transponder out and destroyed it, or suicided itself. It's still there. Carry on.
What was just out of curiosity, Agent? What was the name of those pack animals? The
Hackles.
The-
packles.
Yeah, packles.
Okay. Perhaps making it look like a packle. I heard a pack of packles got in. That's it. Merely amusing. We should nonetheless make our escape. As this sheep is actually
And where are you
very
going
heavy.
to? The
Hover car.
watercraft?
But I mean, the hover car's all the
Or
way
the
back
hover
in
car.
town. We
Oh
gotta,
wait,
We have to go back
Up to the water
I'm
craft.
sorry,
Oh,
right, the watercraft.
Yeah. So we gotta like walk. I don't know.
It's
Back
not
to the
that
camp.
far a walk. It's the fact we now have a
Have a
sheep.
sheep to carry with us. Yeah. Well, we don't have to carry them once we're away from them.
Our hunt was successful.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Look what we got.
Yeah, once you get over the fence, you don't really have to carry it.
No.
It
Well,
seems
when
to want to not go back.
There you go.
When I say carry, I mean in our possession, not
No.
physically carry.
Yeah, that's gonna be like we went hunting and the guy drops us off to go hunting and we're like,
Look, we got a sheep.
we found a sheep.
Perhaps one or two of us should split off and take a long
We
road.
were gonna kill it, but it asked us not to.
Yeah.
Literally.
Please don't.
I will grant you 3 wishes. Perhaps 2 of us should make our way the long way. How long would that take, going from there to get back to town?
On
Just
foot?
on foot. Days.
Not days, but probably a day.
I say we take the watercraft. Then again, it might be weird pulling back into town with a sheep.
That is our concern.
Yeah.
Especially with the fact, points to the research facility, this is a known thing by the locals.
I think we've got enough funds to actually rent a hovercraft, don't we? Just maybe some go back.
Like somebody stay
More guys-
here.
Yeah. Somebody stay here with the sheep.
We could. I could.
We can stay here with the sheep, if you wish.
I could stay with you because if I can create that concealing illusion if necessary. If
What if
somebody
you get
comes around.
caught? What if you get caught?
We have comms. We'll let you know.
Okay.
How's that sound?
So what are you doing? You're
Well,
doing what?
the idea was that we might stay, like, find a place to hide near the shore with the sheep,
I see.
while the other 2 or 3 go back and get a vessel to come pick us up.
Okay.
That way we don't have to, or we could just,
A land vessel,
Right.
Like a hover car or something.
yeah, or we could bribe the captain that's waiting out there
Mhm.
to just take us to a different place. How about that?
Mm.
I mean, yeah, he'll know we took the sheep, but
Witnesses. We don't like it.
Yeah, that would probably be. That's the only downside is the captain would be a witness.
You know. We think the original plan is the best plan. We will stay with our new woolly companions.
you know, they'll give me time to talk. with the
Indeed,
sheep.
we can possibly learn more.
Yeah. You know,
While you 3 get us a more subtle escape.
Get into its head, but not literally.
yeah, right. It can answer questions. What's your name? You know, that sort of thing. What's going on here?
If the captain asks, say that we were set up a camp.
Yeah.
For
Or maybe we're dealing with the kill.
possibly.
So
Alright.
we'll make our way back to the.
And what's the split?
Those 2 are going to stay here. The other 3 of us are going to.
Is it safer
And
to
Boots
stay?
will
Should a third
stay
person
back.
stay, or
Yeah,
I
Boots
think
will
we
stay
are
back
fine.
too.
Okay, Boots will stay.
Or
So
Boots
that's
and so us 2
2 of you are
Indians.
going to take the boat back, and you get back, and the craft is waiting.
They're going to stay
Captain's
back and sightsee a little bit. We're gonna have you take us back to the city.
Okay. I didn't know there was anything to see. All right, let's get going. Been waiting out for a few hours now, a whole day. So you get on the ship, and do you want the slow tour, or you want to get back quick?
Most direct route possible, please.
And
And we'll record the way back here so that we can know for for Google Maps for the hovercraft.
yeah, you can mark points,
Okay.
no problem. And on the boat, he goes up to where the captain's in. You see from the side of it these 2 like pontoon-like things come out to the side, and then it starts speeding up, and then you feel it lifting off the water
Oh,
Mm.
catamaran or something.
like a
Hydrofoil.
hydrofoil.
Right, nice.
And there's like a strong wind and water's whipping through it, but it's considerably faster than what it was getting out here.
Cool.
But most people like the tour,
Right.
Right.
so they want a nice slow way.
Right.
They
Right.
love to hear, let's go the fast way. They're done.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
He gets to go home.
Yeah,
Same
and you
pay.
get back very quickly,
Okay.
and
Cool.
you get to the dock, and he lets you off. He takes the rest of the pay, and says, "All right, well, I'll be here tomorrow if you want to go again."
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
When you get back.
And We want to rent a hover car here.
Hertz rent a hover car?
Well, don't you already? Do you have a car here already?
We have a hover car, right?
Oh, do we?
Can you drive? That's how we got to town.
Yeah.
Oh,
race
we
car.
did? Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
car.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Will it fit the sheep?
Will it fit a sheep?
It's probably a
It will.
well-behaved.
It'll be uncomfortable.
It's a well-behaved sheep.
It'll
It'll be
sit on
sitting on
your
somebody's
lap.
back.
It won't be great for the upholstery, you know.
Right. Poor Soren's in the middle with a sheep on his lap. Just already
So we'll get
squished
my
in.
car and we'll go back.
Okay. All right, so...
So you get your vehicle, and as you're, well, how are you getting there? Because the vehicle's on the opposite side of town from the direction you need to go, but the road goes through town. So you're just going to go through town and go.
Yeah, we'll go through town. I mean,
Okay.
we'll try to avoid Main
Street, USA.
Yeah, we don't want to be really.
Yeah, what's really the quickest way to get
We don't
kind of
really wanna
into
be
the
noticed.
less developed, outbacky kind of area? Pretty much as soon as I could go around the town, I would.
At this point,
It's not hard to go around, but this is not rough country.
Okay.
It's hills.
Yeah.
All this is just hills. It's like rolling hills all along here. It's soily and there's no plants hardly. Along here there's some because it's near the water, so there's enough water here. So there's probably some kinds of grasses and stuff like that, but there's not like big mountainous rocky outcroppings or anything that would cause real problems. So you set it to follow the point to where the rest of the group are, and you head over. Every now and then you'll see a drone like around the town. Like that's not a big deal. A lot of towns use drones as like security, help
Right.
secure.
Yeah.
You get out there and the sheep had recently gone to the bathroom and was
That's a well-behaved
in the time, because it was probably an hour or something, or two.
it's not long.
I would try
Oh, that
to
was a couple of hours.
communicate with the sheep some more. See if I can
Can
get
you understand us?
Yeah, that sort of thing. Let's try and get some info from it, if at all, if anything's possible. I don't know how good it is with that hoof.
take me to your leader.
Tap once for yes,
He just kind of
two
looks
for
at you.
no.
And it looks very distressed when you try and talk to it. It like you can see on its face.
It's trying to work through something.
Meh. And that's what you get out of it.
Somebody's stuck in there, maybe.
Ooh. Mhm. How
Maybe they've been practicing.
existentially horrifying.
maybe it's been practicing that help that it scratched for who knows how long. And that's about all it's got.
Once again, how existentially horrifying.
I don't deny that. All right. Well, I mean, I'll spend a little time.
It's only a little different from what you are.
That's
If
what makes
that's
it
the case.
existentially horrifying.
No, I have an analyzed device as a power too. So if I can get any more info on
Okay,
it,
analyze.
I will attempt to keep
it
conversing
should give
with
me.
the
It's
sheep.
just I think it's just a prime talent, like
Yeah.
a cantrip. So
So,
it doesn't give huge information.
I mean,
but
you know what the DNI does.
you got it right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. That's it then.
And the vehicle comes up. You see him coming over the hill.
Oh, all right.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
So the question is, where are we going now? Back to, I guess, Mark.
Well, I want to secure this sheep somewhere.
You mean Port End.
Where did we come from? Port
Port
End's
End.
close. Right?
Port End.
That's
we
the
can
closer
report
big
in.
city.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Does your friend? Is that Adasa?
Adasa.
Yeah. Is that individual you trust that person with this? And can they get us a place? A lab, maybe?
We have a lab.
Wow.
We have a lab on the ship, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I guess we do.
Remember?
It's a bit of a longer trek with a sheep
Yeah.
to the dark side.
We left the ship at the
Temple.
temple. But
We
is,
have,
is there another lab? Does anybody?
unless your contact is willing to shelter this sheep and has a lab, we are the only ones with said facilities.
I mean, we could go get the ship and come back.
Or we could just go to the
Or
ship.
take the
and go to
sheep.
ship.
Right.
Yeah,
to
let's
the
do
lab.
that. Let's do that.
Okay. That will require us to rent a spaceship or like an atmosphere, a flight, ship, right? We can hover car to the dark side, can't we? Through the gray zone.
Could you? Yeah, you could. Well, you'd get a pilot to get you over there.
I know one.
Yeah, you need to get across.
Okay.
And you don't want to take a land vehicle across.
Right.
It's too hard and too slow.
So not your car.
Making a perception roll.
Everybody?
Yeah.
16.
Natural 20.
Plus whatever, 16.
20.
Plus
Natural
16.
16.
24. You're on top of it.
You're like loading the car up, and a drone flies nearby, and you're not near the town, so it's a little unusual.
I'd be looking for their.
Boots.
Do I have how much? Is it something that we see coming? Like when I have time
You
to
hear a little bit. You hear like.
Just very quickly, I'm going to say, all right, everyone huddle in. And I'm going to do an illusory form, which is a 15-foot cube, visual illusion. And I'll make it up here like just whatever the local flora looks like. So like a bush or a hill or a rock. Or I'll look over and say, just make some of that. Camo. It's instant camouflage.
You're a scrub.
That's right. I sure am right now.
You need to make a roll for that.
No, it's they make a roll to investigate it if they want.
If they have a reason to investigate
Right,
it.
and it's power. My save is 14. Yeah, we could see through it. It's like translucent to us because we know it's an illusion. Or if you don't, I tell you, don't freak out. It's an illusion.
Just disbelieve.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
I disbelieve.
So yeah.
Whatever the course of action we take, we should take it now. We do not want to see another one of those overhead.
I concur. Let's get out of here.
So you hop in your vehicle. So where are you going? What direction are you going to?
The
To Port End?
It's the long way to Port End, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta kind of go make a big loop around the town. We don't want to go back through town. We don't want to go past the ranch again. So, however, we can go to get there. Let's see the world map. But is that something that could be navigated pretty easily?
Getting around the town?
And yeah, staying away from
Towards
the town and the
Port End.
ranch, but going.
Yes. Yeah, the ranch is behind you now.
Okay.
Who's the seating order here? I'd imagine there's
Shotgun.
There are 6
pilot
seats.
there.
There are 6 seats.
It's your car,
but
though, so.
the sheep really, because of its shape,
I'd
kind
imagine
of takes 2,
Yeah.
or at least 1.5.
I think
I
it's,
turned.
No, we all know Boots is holding the sheep.
Yeah, I'll hold it.
Did you ever think that you would get into this sort of thing when you assigned on this outfit? I did not. We did not.
Yeah, this is.
And Soren takes a big, long
Sheep
look at it
wrangler.
where his life is right now.
Yeah. Sheep rustlers.
Rustlers, right? Not wranglers, rustlers.
Oh,
We stole a sheep, guys.
congratulations.
We recall from the Earth history books that was punishable by hanging.
Oh.
Hanging. Barbaric.
No, that was horses.
Horses?
Yeah, sheep only,
A light maiming.
Yeah, like maybe 50 lashes or something. All right, well, let's
Interesting.
avoid those.
Horses.
Yeah, let's head back. Do
That
you
is
need,
kind of funny.
you need to contact?
That's sheep herding.
Yeah.
Wow, that's what sheep herding looks like. Yeah, there you go. I didn't know you.
It looks heroic,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah.
It sure does.
Looks like Henry V.
You know, he's like
Once more, bah!
Onward, my woolly army.
So there you go. That's what we're up to. Except only one sheep, a little less heroic.
Right.
Yeah, one sheep overhead.
So do you
Yeah,
want?
that's also looks weird.
Yeah. Well, we're also
Just
carrying it on our
What-
shoulder.
right,
So
even weirder.
that's more sheep now.
So you're heading back to Port End.
Yep. You
Yes,
want to contact
correct.
your person?
And you get to Port End. It takes a while, but you get
In
back
the
to
interest
Port
of
End.
what?
Oh no, we're not going. That's right. We're not going
No,
to the
we're gonna
person.
do it
We're going to
ourselves.
we're going to our
ship.
So we need to rent a vessel. No sheep questions asked, and then we're gonna.
Sheep questions.
So we need to rent a more heavy duty hovercraft or a.
We could put the sheep in a box and transport it as cargo. No
Well, we
questions
have a
asked.
pilot, right? So we should do that when we're maybe going through the port, right, to the ship. But we need to rent one that can get to the dark side, which we don't have that.
Jack, how big a ship do we need to get back there? with
Can
this.
Small
do I
shuttle.
have, yeah, do I have enough connections to basically
Absolutely.
rent a small shuttle?
Yep.
Okay.